Taylor. Here. Smiley.
Here.
Smith Charles.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Great. Next is our Pledge of Allegiance. How about Commissioner Wyford lead us with
Gladly.
that?
Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next is our approval of the minutes dated January 14th, 2026, including a closed session. Moved by Commissioner Lenny Taylor to approve and second by Commissioner Wyford. Any corrections or additions? Seeing none, we can just do a voice vote. All in favor of approving the minutes? Aye. Thank you. Opposed, nay? The ayes have it. Minutes from January 14th, 2026 are approved. Next up is the approval of the agenda. Take a motion to do that. Commissioner Smiley moves and supported by Commissioner Markham. Any changes or things you'd like to see differently? Seeing that no one's acknowledging if they have any changes, the approval of the agenda, we can do a voice vote. All in favor of approving the agenda? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the sign of nay. Opposition there, so the agenda is approved. Next is our first public comment, and we are asking participants to take 3 minutes for their maximum amount of time, and it's to be related to items on the agenda today. Is there anyone who'd like to speak in this first public comment? I'll go ahead and close the first public comment. Next is our communications portion, where we have 6 items. 7A is our monthly reports, Pontiac redevelopment project, February 2026. B, monthly report, new public works building, February 2026. C, quarterly report, American Rescue Plan skilled and educated workforce, April 1st, 2022 through September 30, 2025. Annual report item D, Main Street Oakland County Placemaking and Public Spaces Grant Program. Item E is the amendment number 1 to the, I could maybe say what that PTK stood for, but I'm rusty. Reconstruct taxiway and lighting, taxiway, DFY and apron grant. And then item F is the amendment number 1 to the Michigan Enhancement Grant, MEDC. So we can start with A, and if anyone has any questions or like anyone from staff to speak on it, you may at this time. This is generally looking at it from a infrastructure space. And Brian, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Wow. So thank you for your the monthly report. Anything you want to highlight?
No, it's other than as you can imagine, during the month of December, the spending slowed down just due to the holidays and things like that. But I think they're in line of what we have presented before and what we are now going to be able to provide to the chair and your staff is a outline of making sure when the next set of monthly reports for calendar year 2026 is going to be submitted due to the draw schedules in your meeting and upload schedule for ED&I.
Wonderful. I don't see any hands on this particular item, and so we will just check in with folks on the next items under our communications. That our new Public Works building, February 2026. Anyone here want to speak to that? Any water resource folks? I think it's fairly on schedule in terms of its progress. American Rescue Plan skilled and educated workforce. Anything on that we want to dive into? I believe item D is our placemaking and public spaces grant, where, if I'm not mistaken, was introduced by, this is something different. I was thinking of Commissioner Loob's, something to do with public spaces, but different. All right, and then there's an amendment. Yes, sir.
Oh, I just wanted to make a comment on that one. There's a very neat photo of the train station in Holly being picked up and moved.
Yes.
If you're a cool nerd like me, look at the photo in that item. It's neat. Thank you.
Cool
That's-
nerd?
Yeah, I'm a cool nerd.
Nerds are cool. I just want it on the record.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
I like it when buildings are picked up and moved. That's
Oh, it's amazing,
it's a
yeah.
cool thing.
It is very cool. Unless they're causing you not to be able to get down the road. Very, very good. And then our amendment number 1 to the MEDC enhancement grant, and it's in its fully executed form. So those are our communications. I'll take a motion to receive and file. Moved by Commissioner Johnson, supported by Commissioner Taylor. I don't know what it is. It's
We have these plates to help out.
They're gold on green, remember?
Yeah, they are those.
Needless to say. The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor of receiving and filing our communications by the sign of aye?
Aye.
Opposed by the sign of nay? The communications are received and filed. Next is our presentation from WRC on the Rain Smart rebate program, and I'll take them, I mean, we can do it afterwards, but just remind me. So you wanna move it after, that's fine. Commissioner Markham moves to receive and file, Commissioner Smiley supports, and we have a presentation. So good morning, who's ever here to speak to it, and please introduce yourself and tell us what you do here.
Good morning, I'm Lynn Seymour. I am a chief engineer from Oakland County, Water Resources Commissioner's Office. And so I'll let Stephanie introduce herself.
I'm Stephanie Petrillo, an environmental planner with WRC.
Welcome.
And so we are pleased to be able to present the findings of our 2-year pilot program called Rain Smart Rebates. Commissioner Markham is very familiar with this because she serves on the board of our GWK drainage district. And so we could probably answer as many questions as we can since she sits in them monthly.
Yes, Commissioner Markham's vast knowledge
Yes.
on so many things.
I just love this program.
I do too. Where it's available.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
One
excellent.
moment, please. There you go.
All right,
And
you
the
can probably
clicker's
just go
down
to
there.
the next screen. Oh, do we have it? Okay, perfect. So Rain Smart Rebates was a 2-year pilot program funded by the George W. Kuhn Drainage District, which is a combined district. And that's in our southeast portion. So 14 communities are made up of the district in full or in part. And the goal was to look for a program to help manage stormwater at the homeowner property level, knowing that any stormwater we can capture or educate homeowners with is gonna be a benefit for the district. And so this is our goal, was to really utilize this as an educational campaign to empower residents to take action to either install native trees on their property, they could do a rain barrel, or even do their own rain garden. And so here's our district. So probably if you're not familiar, this is like the boundary of the district. And we started up with the pilot, we partnered with a few of the communities, so they had input on how the structure would be for the program. And so Birmingham, Oak Park, Royal Oak, and Southfield were really integral with developing the program.
And I just want to interject, the reason this part of the world was selected for this was the 2014 floods. That's when this conversation started, when that whole part of Oakland County had all their basements flooded. And you remember all that? Well, here we are 12 years later with a program for residents. So a lot has happened in other parts of that too, but that's where this originated from.
Yeah, so for homeowners who apply to the program and are accepted, they go through a one-on-one site assessment with our program partners, the Clinton River Watershed Council. So a staff member goes out to their property and they discuss green infrastructure and the certain projects that they could install in their at their homes. So trees, rain barrels, or rain gardens, they go through how to install it, how to maintain it, the rebates available, and walk them through the process. After that, the homeowner gets a nice report of photos that were taken during their site assessment, notes about what was talked about, some estimated areas for rain gardens and that kind of thing. From there, the homeowner then goes and purchases and installs their projects. And that brings us to the rebates. Each homeowner is eligible for up to 2 rain barrels, up to 2 trees, and a rain garden. Now, this might not be viable for everyone. They might not have the space for a rain garden or the proper location, but that's all discussed at their site assessment. So each project is capped at a certain rebate value. So if you purchase a tree, you have up to $250 to receive back in a rebate. A rain barrel is up to $125, and the rain garden is $6 a square foot of an approved rain garden design. Each property is also capped at $2,000. So if you do multiple projects, it can add up to $2,000, assuming that they spent that money. No one's getting more money than what they spent. So when a homeowner installs those projects, they fill out an online form where they upload their receipts and photos of those projects. And that's when our office goes through the receipts and determines their eligible rebate based off of what they purchased.
Let me ask, and I was peeking ahead just to make sure it wasn't on a further slide, but when you talk about those, you didn't say assessments, what is it when they go to the house and?
The site assessment?
Oh, okay, site assessment. Then is that in terms of your budget, which is coming up soon, I mean, does it cover for each house? Because it's a huge territory and you're talking a lot of homes.
So as part of the site assessment, we ask the homeowners to pay $25, and that's going directly to the Clinton River Watershed Council to offset some of their costs. But the program did have a contract with the Watershed Council, and the majority of that was paid by the district
Okay,
for this pilot, yes.
great, thank you.
So the program was set up to be a DIY homeowner program, but in the development of the program, we realized that that could not be available to certain subsets of the population. So we created an alternative path for homeowners through the equity grant. And that is anyone who deems themselves to be unable to front the money and wait for a rebate, or cannot physically install the project themselves, they can select on their application that they're interested in the equity grant. This is a first come, first serve section of money for from the budget, and if someone's accepted into the equity grant program, the site assessment fee is waived, and then the Clinton River Watershed Council will purchase and install the materials and project for the homeowner. So it does go quickly. It doesn't reach as many people as the standard program just based off of cost, but it has been a nice addition to the program. We reserve 20% of the rebate budget each year for the equity grants, and that was based off of the areas in this GWK community that was considered overburdened by Eagle. So it's roughly 20% of the area.
I'd like to just tap in, this is way too fascinating. What would be an example of overburden? Like they get a lot of flooding, or what would be an example?
So that's Eagle's definition, and I think they look at a lot of homeoeconomic statuses. I don't know all of the things in their calculation, but it's probably mostly related to that.
I think it is mostly income based.
Yeah.
Got it, yes.
So, but for our program, we're not asking anyone to submit anything that says they need this. It's basically them saying that I would like some additional assistance. So that was just to get us at the budget that we're reserving.
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
Well, it's just on follow-up to that, because I've done a few of these projects myself, and like physical labor is the only thing that I can think of as being a real obstacle, other than like driving to Lowe's and picking up a thing or two. Physical labor is the one thing. So this grant, does it come with a human to do the labor, or?
So that's the Watershed Council.
Okay,
They, so say you wanted to install 2 trees, They will purchase those trees that you wanted and then plant them for you.
Okay.
So it takes out the part where you have to do the physical labor and wait for your reimbursement back.
Because everything else is like rather easy to do. It's just the physical labor of, okay, cool,
Sure, yeah.
thanks.
So that brings us to what did we accomplish in 2 years? The biggest aspect of this program was really how many people we reached. And this chart can show you the total applications and the eligible applications. So we had people outside the district apply. We also had people that weren't the primary homeowner apply. So that brings us down to roughly 900 people within the district over 2 years applied. And from there, 482 people had a one-on-one site assessment. So that's close to 500 people got to talk about green infrastructure on their property and what might benefit them. Those people, that turned into almost 300 people installing at least one project. And that's the distribution across the district on where those projects were. So these 300 people could install multiple projects. And that's what this next slide shows, that we had almost 683 individual rain barrels, trees, and rain gardens installed over 2 years. And that's the breakdown per year. Rain barrels were the most popular option, probably because they're the easiest to install. They're also generally the most inexpensive, but we did see an increase across all projects from year 1 to year 2. So as Lynn mentioned, the program was funded by the George W. Kuhn Drainage District for this, it was technically 3-year pilot. We spent a whole year planning the program, and we did that with the Clinton River Watershed Council and the Center for Watershed Protection. They helped us build a GIS tracking system. And this is just a breakdown on what was spent for those 2 contracts, what was spent on homeowner rebates, and the equity grant. So you can see there was a little bit of money left over, and that's been used to subsidize WRC staff time. Now, if we look at how many projects were installed per homeowner, most people are doing over 2, which is great to see. They're doing multiple projects. This also shows you the increase in rain garden size from year 1 to 2, the increase in average rebate from year 1 to year 2. And we could also then look at the receipts they were submitting and see what they were actually spending on these projects versus what the rebate was covering. And we're aligned fairly close, given that we had to pick a number before we knew the prices that would be coming back in. So we feel confident that we picked some good rebate values for that to cover most of homeowners' expenses. The costs certainly increased when people paid for labor for the rain garden or paid for delivery for the tree, which are all eligible expenses. They just cost more than the rebate covers. And then when we look at stormwater capture, because that's part of the program as well, over 2 years, we estimate that we're keeping 1.4 million gallons out of the system. And that's from March to November, because we're assuming most people should be taking their rain barrels down during the winter so they don't freeze. But you can see the breakdown on year to year on how that has also increased. We are not looking at trees for this, even though we know trees do capture some stormwater, we just did not go through the calculations for that. Oh, and then here's some photos of the most recent projects from this year. You can see some nice rain gardens, trees and rain barrels. And then as part of the rebate request process, we ask people to give us some feedback, and it's overwhelmingly positive. The information they get from their site assessments, the community they've built with their neighbors who are also going through the program. So it's been really rewarding to see some of those.
Yeah, just to add to that, so yes, if you're offering money to do work, you would expect that it would be a favorable project, but the focus wasn't so much about getting the funding, it was the whole process and, you know, the education component of it and having that one-on-one experience. So next steps. So, you know, it was a 2-year funding that ended at the end of last year, and what had occurred was Eagle was aware of our program and they approached us to see if they could submit a grant application to the GLRI, Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, on our behalf. So there is a pot of money that the states are eligible to put forward priority projects that they would like to see funded. And so it's competitive only in the sense that each state presents their projects and then the EPA kind of determines what best aligns with their projects. And so we worked with them to submit an application or have them submit an application for a request of $745,000 to continue Rain Smart rebates for another 2 years and expand the program outside the GWK. And so you can see how the boundary now goes into Farmington Hills, all the way up to Rochester Hills. And that map, that boundary came from the GIS tracking system. People who were applying but being denied because they're outside of our service area. And so being able to have this robust tracking system, we saw where the interest was, we utilized that to create our boundary. And so doing that, it takes us into another watershed, the Rouge River watershed. So the grant application would now include covering expenses for the Clinton River Watershed Council and Friends of the Rouge. And so we are happy to announce that the EPA selected our project. And so they, and it is a no match grant, so there's no grant funding, no cost required on our behalf to contribute. And so it is fast moving. You know, the government shutdown kind of put a little hurdle and they didn't put that into our timing. And so they're like, okay, now we just have to move even faster. And so we've been going back and forth. And so the tentative award looks like it is going to be going forward into the final process at the end of this month. And so, you know, we got the tentative acceptance in December. We have been working with the EPA to do the draft and basically, I've never seen the EPA move so quickly. We submit our revised work plan and 2 days later, or you know, we've been getting comments. So they're excited about this program. So it's good to see that it's already getting, you know, recognition at the federal level. And so with this new grant application program, we'll be promoting the program into the new communities, being able to accept applications in early March, knowing that that doesn't really cost us any money. The costs for the grant don't really incur until we are doing site assessments, and those would happen in April. So the grant does allow us to recoup any time or costs back into March, and so we're really excited about the opportunity, and we hope you are too.
Way cool.
Any questions?
Thank you, and thank you for that contact information there. Certainly, I'm glad that we were able to put this in a meeting where it's on YouTube and people are able to kind of hear about it and prepare themselves. Just checking our digital hand raising. Anyone raise their hand digitally? I want to honor you first. Okay, Mr. Whiteford, followed by Mr.
I've
Smiley.
never seen an emergency request for emergency approval. I mean, what of the grant? I know because the timing was off, or
Yes.
I mean, I've never heard it called an asking for emergency approval.
Sure.
I can address that a little bit. Kelsey Cook, Manager and Chief Legal Officer for WRC. So the difference between what we've done so far in the pilot and this new grant opportunity is the pilot obviously is with the Drainage District. The new grant opportunity is with Oakland County, not a drainage district. And so because of the tight timing on the EPA acceptance and kind of moving this forward, typically for applications for grants, we would come through the Board of Commissioners full process. However, it's our understanding that there's a process that could be requested. It's kind of, I don't know if it was our word or if it's Fiscal Services word, they may be able to speak to that too, where we could obtain the chairperson's signature in the event of a very tight turnaround timing. And that's what we expect here and that we would likely have to do. We still haven't received the grant agreement yet, so as soon as we get that, I would submit it to Corporation Counsel for their review, and we'd probably be asking Chair Woodward's permission to proactively, apply. And then in the event of applying in this case, it's also accepting kind of at the same time, just the way the EPA works. But we wanted obviously to let all of you know it was coming, and we do have the time now to give you the preview of what we'd be asking for at any moment's notice, really.
Yes.
So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, wonderful. Good catch there, Mr. Wyper. Anything further on, oh, yes, Mr. Smiley.
Oh, wait, Ms. Phil, you're done, Phil?
Yes, yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So a couple questions. So this two-year project's complete, and if I understand what you just explained, just more of a clarification. So you're moving on to like another area. The people that did it for the last 2 years, they're done. They can't do it anymore, right? Now
So,
it's part of a new project.
so we still will have the GWK, but we've expanded beyond that border to include any residents.
Oh, so it's expanded,
Yes,
not
it's an
just moved to a
expansion.
different area. Oh, okay, good. So if someone missed out, catches word, they can get on board. Okay, good. And then this one's a little tougher, not just, I don't know if you have the data for it. I'm just looking at the numbers. It's hard to know if, would you consider this a success? Were you going into it, you were hoping more people? You're surprised how many? You thought it'd be fewer? I'm just wondering how you guys internally judge the success of the pilot of the first 2 years.
I would definitely say success. We had to shut down receiving applications the first year within a week.
Oh,
We
wow.
had received so much interest in applications, and we were, to be honest though, we were very conservative. We wanted to make sure that whoever we were accepting, we had the amount of funds, because you really don't know what projects people are going to choose to do until they do the site assessment. But I think based on, we didn't mention this, but when we were creating the program, we interviewed similar programs from across the country. And I think based on even those conversations, what we saw and the success rate and the feedback, it's without a doubt a successful program.
Great to
For
hear.
it to be recognized by Eagle as a high priority project to continue,
Yeah, it's an indication there.
yeah.
Great, all right, thank you, that's all I had.
Oh yeah, and we also won awards for this program. We won 2 awards, a NACO award and a recognition through the Michigan Association of County Drain Commissioners.
Well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
Very nice. Mr. Smiley, anything further?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Taylor?
Yep, I just wanted to add that Southfield was very excited about this program. As you know, we have what we call the Southfield Standard, where residents really do beautify their property and stuff, and they were looking at ways of utilizing water, because we were part of that floodplain thing that took place, the basements flooding and everything. So they were very excited, and I heard lots and lots and lots of positivity around this program.
And now the rest of your residents will be able to also be a part of it.
Right, because I think we were the ones that flooded you
yeah,
with
you-
applications.
Yeah, the community support has been overwhelming with their social media and just promoting it. That's where it's like word of mouth that we're seeing applications come through.
Let me have you go back to slide 3, kind of to what Commissioner Taylor was referring to, and which is why I got excited.
Slide 3.
Yeah, back at the beginning,
Yeah.
because I noticed that when I saw Southfield, I'm like, no way. But, there's that little blue portion, which I'm grateful to say is a part of my district. But at the bottom there, where it kind of looks like stairs, leaves me out. And I can't wait to be an evangelist to this. I mean, dreams of rain gardens and rain barrels, floating around in my brain. And then two more slides where you have your chart about homeowner participation. I was looking and, I'm extra sensitive to Royal Oak Township. It just comes with the territory. That I didn't see their name in the pie chart, but I did see their name in the names of the communities. So were you able to make inroads there?
You know, what's funny is that, and I didn't realize this until I had a resident with a rebate request. They were physically located in Royal Oak Township, but the address was Ferndale.
Yeah, that does happen.
So some of the Ferndales
Wouldn't
could
count.
be Royal Oak Township, but it is true, we haven't had much participation there. And I'm wondering if it's because it's a higher rental population, I'm not sure. But right now, the program is strictly for homeowners.
Okay. Well, you know, GWK and Royal Oak Township are synonymous to me, so so I'll be sure to reach out because I'm sure that there's ways to engage. I have a few pretty active Facebook groups and things like that, because talk about a population that even if you are a landlord, I would imagine as a landlord, you'd wanna do some of the beautification and things like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing an increase there. And under the new model, I think it goes as high as Rochester, which is exciting. And then captures Farmington, goes further west than previously. So very, very exciting. Mr. Wiper, you're looking this way like you got something. Yes.
Just to follow up on that,
Uh-huh.
if somebody's in a long-term rental house, there's folks that are gonna be in a rental home for a long, long time. Can they work with the home owner
Yes.
to make the application for them and, okay.
Yep.
And are you educating people about that? Because, or
Yes.
is that?
We've had a few, it's like a landlord applies because they have to sign the property
Right.
owner agreement.
Right.
But yeah, it's on behalf of the renter that wants it there.
All right. Good,
Well,
thank you.
definitely put us to work. There's some commissioners who reside in these areas and, I think would be good examples. So, get ready for your applications too, commissioners. Yes, Mr. Johnson?
Thank you. I just 2 questions, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Yes, the first one is, how are we publicizing this? I have a column in a newspaper in Rochester, so that's how I will publicize it for you, regardless of what you answer with. But how are you publicizing it anyway?
It has been mostly social media. And then we have a GWK work group where we talk about green infrastructure, and we've given, in the past 2 years, our marketing team has made like a marketing toolkit that we've shared amongst the communities, and they can use it to publish on their social media. But that's primarily how we've done it. A couple news stories have picked up, like a news release or something, but it's been all passive and word of mouth.
Yeah, part of the testimonials, it's great to see that they're so excited after completing the project, they're telling their neighbor to apply, and we see that with like numerous applications.
Do you give out a little certificate or like a sign that people can nail on a wooden post?
For rain gardens, we give out a sign.
Nice.
We ask if they'd like one, and then we drop them off. And for rain barrels, we have stickers that remind them when to disassemble, when to clean, just like a yearly maintenance thing.
That's good.
But yeah,
Okay, and the second question, so I am not a homeowner, I live in an apartment complex. For those bigger properties, like my complex is rather large, there are 2,000-ish residents. Yes, and it's mostly townhouses and condos and apartments and all that stuff. There are lots of areas where bioswale would be particularly beneficial, and I totally understand that this is for homeowners, and I don't want to overwhelm you organizationally, but there are a lot of other types of corporate landowners, large, how can we engage them if they are interested in lessening their water runoff?
So across the country, programs similar to this, I think they started as a homeowner-based program, but then they gradually expand either faith-based organizations or even commercial properties, as long as they're not meeting like a requirement that's part of their permit. So there are those opportunities right now. I think we're just trying to gain momentum and support at the homeowner level. If anybody ever has a question about bioswales or how to do something like that, they can always contact our office. We reach out, we set up meetings, and we're happy to meet with the property owners to talk about opportunities.
the difference with those programs is they have sustainable funding. through either utilities or whatever. So we are trying to get there at some point, because grants aren't gonna last forever, but once that becomes a real achieved goal, then we can expand it to commercial and industrial. And that's our long-term goal.
Yeah, I love those questions and I appreciate those answers. Do you guys have a Facebook page of any sort or is WRC?
Oakgov.com/water.
Oh, excuse me, I fell asleep for a minute there.
I think it's through Jim.
All right, executive team, if you're listening, comms team. So, okay, wonderful. Well, you obviously have a warm body here. Well, that doesn't sound right. You have friends here that want to see this succeed. So we want to empower us however you can, but definitely want to get the word out about it. And with that, I believe we have a motion and support to receive and file. And so we can do voice vote? Voice vote is fine. All in favor of receiving and filing this presentation, sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the sign of nay. All right, this item has been received and filed. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. We're so excited. Thank you. In keeping with water resource, let us, I'll take a motion
I assume they'll get there
recommend
eventually.
to the board
It's gotta work their way.
Water Resource Commissioner Sewer System Operations and Maintenance Agreement with the Charter Township of White Lake. Can I get a motion? Mr. Wyper, supported by Commissioner Markham. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, so there might be
Welcome,
communities that need more
Kelsey.
than ours.
Thank you. Thank you, Lynn and Stephanie, by the way. Have a good day.
Great job.
All right, so maintenance agreement. And it's a contract, so it's a good contract for us.
It is. Good
Okay.
morning,
Good morning.
Commissioners. So yes, the contract before you today is for White Lake Township Sewer System Operations. We historically have maintained and operated White Lake Township Sewer System, but it was through our contract with Commerce Township. So Commerce Township decided to go a different direction, and so we reached back out to White Lake to see if they would like us to continue to provide the same services that we've been providing to them for a very long time, and they did. So their township board did pass a resolution and has already signed the agreement. So now we're looking for approval from the Board of Commissioners and County to accept the agreement. White Lake Township sewer system is fairly complex. It's a gravity and also pressure system, and so they have about 12 different pump stations and 750 grinder pumps. So our expertise at the WRC really helps them out in maintaining that.
Got it. Just because I'm not as familiar with White Lake as some, and so I Google mapped it, and it looks like it's mostly lake. I was like, does Google know that I mean the municipality? But very minimal like roads and things like that. So just an interesting, if anyone ever wants to just go and Google map it. All right, well, any questions or anything on this item, folks? Seeing none. Oh, Ms. Taylor?
I was just gonna ask, is the 10-year and 10-year renewal?
Right.
Is that standard or?
It is, so it's
Okay.
the same term as all of our other
Okay.
operation and maintenance contracts.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. That was my only.
Yeah, good one, thank you. All right, all hearts and minds are clear on this, so we will go ahead and prompt the vote on item 8A, or 9A. Thank you, that motion carries. Next is a recommendation to the board. I'll accept a motion to do so. It's a real estate item, Water Resource Commissioner, transfer of real property interest from Oakland County to local municipality. Moved by Commissioner Markham, supported by Commissioner Smiley. Kelsey, over to you.
Thank you again. This item is, excuse me, asking for more of a general authorization to transfer property as certain bonds are repaid to the county. And so the WRC and the county takes on a lot of infrastructure projects on behalf of municipalities for them, a lot of sewer system improvements of facilities or infrastructure in the ground. And when we do that, we need to obtain easements to do the work, or sometimes property, full ownership of certain property. And when we do that, it's put into the County of Oakland's name. The County of Oakland secures the bonds on behalf of the municipalities as well. And once those bonds are fully repaid, we would like to transfer any ownership interest in property, whether it's easements or fee ownership, back to the municipality, or sometimes in the case of a drainage district. So that way, really it's just kind of making sure that the municipality or the drainage district that should own the property does in fact own it, and the county no longer owns it now that the bond debt to the county has been fully satisfied. The reason we're asking for kind of an authorization to do this generally is just there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of legal descriptions and different properties that we're going through and then come up. So we track and monitor when bond debt's repaid, and then at that point we have our right-of-way department start going through all of the real estate records to see what the county owns that probably it shouldn't have the liability to own, that we need to transfer back. So we'd like the general authority that as those items come up and are discovered, that we can then put the property together in a nice package and have a quitclaim deed that the chairperson could authorize. Also, as part of your packet, I believe, is a sample quitclaim conveyance, so it kind of shows the language that we would use, and then the attachment A would be a very large stack of legal descriptions and documents that need to be conveyed.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Smiley, followed by Commissioner Johnson for questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I made a mistake. I had a note for a question. I think it was for the previous one. Can I ask it still? I won't change my vote, but I thought it was for this one, but it was actually for the previous. So.
Oh, sure.
So forgive me.
I'll allow it.
Okay, thanks. It doesn't change any votes right there. Just about the, the relationship between White Lake and Commerce.
Right.
So they were working together for their water, and I know Commerce is broken off of us, but is White Lake permanently want to be with the county, or?
Yes.
Okay, they're not, this isn't, I thought I read something that made me think that this was until they figured something out with Commerce. That's not the case.
That's correct, no.
Oh, good, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, that's all I needed.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you, appreciate it.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item is just intriguing to me for several different. One, I thought Paul might be in the room for this, so I'm confused. Well, anyway, what the word necessary appears several times in in our analysis, and I guess I'm just struggling with is that the right word? Why is it necessary to transfer transfer property back to a municipality? But the deed says Oakland County.
Right, so essentially the county is hanging on to property that it's not necessary for it to have. And so the memorandum, it talks about one example for, in particular, when we're looking for, the municipality needs to give access for a certain project or something like that. And it's their own property, but we run the legal description and find out that it's actually still in the name of the county. And so then they can't move forward with what they need to do. This happens a lot with drainage districts. We actually have sometimes a new project that comes up and, part of the property is owned by the drainage district and then other parts or easements are owned by Oakland County when it should all really be the drainage district. So it's kind of just, the county puts property it acquires for projects when there's a bonded project in the name of the county. And I guess it's some type of collateral in a way, even though the bond debt is really secure regardless. And so it's a housekeeping issue, but it is a little bit more than that because you really are transferring real property. In my legal opinion, it's additional liability that the county doesn't need to have owning all of these easements, right-of-ways, and random fee properties throughout Oakland County within different municipalities. The municipalities really should be the ones managing that property and, ensuring it or whatever else needs to be done.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? That's the part that I'm looking for. Is there a monetary figure associated with that liability?
I guess not. Nothing off the top of my head in particular. I think it's just a general. I'm trying to think. I mean,
It could vary though.
Yeah.
Depending upon the infraction that occurs on this land. If someone were to be hurt or if snow wasn't removed properly and someone fell, little things like that.
Yeah,
Not to step on what your timing is, but I was just curious about the quick claim aspect of it,
right.
you know, versus like a warranty deed. And then how long would it take to ensure that all of these titles have been, I mean, I'm sure it's not just a day where you just click a
Right.
button.
Yeah.
What do you foresee there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Commissioner Johnson, it really is a case-by-case basis, and a lot of the times, the municipalities assume that they do own the property and they don't even realize it until, you know, something comes up and then they find it's in the name of the county. As to timing, it's gonna be a fairly long process, so even when we know the bond debt is paid off and we start the search, I mean, it takes weeks and weeks of time to, you know, go through all the property tract index and make sure the legal descriptions are correct to compile everything for a quitclaim deed. The quitclaim deed is the best option to transfer the property because it's literally giving whatever interest the county has in that property back to the municipality or the drainage district, whereas a warranty deed, it's gonna put additional obligation on the county to make sure that that title is clear. So we're just saying, whatever it is we have, we're giving it to you, and now it is yours.
Right, to verify and all that stuff. Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just working through my thoughts. So this is, a project needs to happen. We put our names on it because AAA bond rating is all, and it's better that way.
Right.
Then we hold the property and do the project.
Right.
And we hold it until the bonds are paid off, which is several years.
Right.
Projects degrade over time. I mean, I guess I'm just struggling with like, if it takes 30 years to pay off the bonds and the project's lifespan is 50 years, then there's 20 years, quite a few of which are being in the long list of several hundred list of properties that we're working through. So let's say 5 years, or 5 is way too much, but let's say 5. So then there's still like 15 years of like, okay, city, it's yours again, before you need to ask us to start the process over again. And Oakland County's name is on it for 80% of, rough math, I'm not a math, but like a long chunk of that time. And it just seems like a lot of work to, over the course of 300 years, keep doing this like yours and ours and yours and ours. And that's what I'm struggling with.
Yeah, so even if infrastructure is built within certain property, we're, you know, I think we're transferring the property, not, you know, obviously whatever's on it. It's not a bill of sale for the infrastructure, it's just the real property. And so, I'm not an engineer, but I have one here to my right, but some of the infrastructure projects can last, you know, 100 years or, you know, at least 50 years. And it doesn't mean that the community may even invoke the county to do the project again the next time. So I don't really see the like kind of trade back and forth, but maybe Brian can answer.
Sure. Yeah, the scenario is I'm a new community who wants to have infrastructure, but I don't have the financial capacity to do it. So I engage the county with an Act 342 agreement to do the project for me, to fund it, to bond it, to do all the work. At the conclusion of the project is essentially theirs, right? But it's still in our name while we continue the financing. It's like when you co-sign for a loan or something, right? So it's still ours until it's over. The infrastructure is gonna last 50, 100 years, but it's a 20-year bond typically that you're using to pay down the debt. And then we didn't, you know, in the past, not us, but the people before us did not do a great job of cleaning up some of those also. So there's a lot of them that are just sitting out there on the books. Where Novi, even back in 1970, had a drain that built a sewer that all the easements are still in the county's name, even though Novi's maintained it for 30 years. So those are the scenarios we're talking about.
Last question. Do they want the property back? Do they know that they're about to get a bunch of it back?
Yeah.
It's part of the condition, I think, of the Act 342 is that they expect to own it when it's done.
Okay.
Okay, and we do communicate with them and make sure, you know, if we're, yeah. We don't need
Here's a
their
few hundred
acceptance,
acres,
but
have
yeah.
fun.
Communicate it also.
Yes.
Now,
And they have to accept it also. Community, you can't foist property on a community. They have to accept the property also.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
that's committee, I know. Short of finance. All right, so then if all questions and thoughts are out on this particular item, it was a great little deep dive in what most of us don't even think about as we travel throughout the county. But I do like the idea of us streamlining and cleaning up things where necessary. With that, let us prompt the vote on recommending this to the board.
Not to speak irregularly, but this is why I've brought up several times that we should have a streamline in the reverse with acquisition.
We're getting there.
Definitely understand.
Building the plane while we're flying.
Yeah.
We have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries. Thank you, Kelsey, very much. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Brian. And now we're at item 10, which is Economic Development Department recommendations. 10A is a recommendation to the board under the lease category. The Aviation and Transportation Airport land lease between Oakland County International Airport and Park Place Hangar Company LLC. Can I get a motion to recommend to the board? Moved by Commissioner Taylor, supported by Commissioner Weipert. And Ms. Bush? Over to you. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We see Sean over there chatting.
Distracted her.
Troublemaker.
All right, so we are airport land lease between Oakland County International and Park Place Hangar.
Yes. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This is a long-term land lease, 30-year land lease for the southeast corner parcel that we recently had up for an RFP. We had one bidder and they were successful and met the requirements for this new lease, so we're very excited. They are building adjacent to their existing land lease, so it's gonna really improve the corner of Airport Road and M59. It'll be visible to anybody that's traveling up and down that area there. So this is a 30-year lease. It's about a $24,000 square foot hangar facility with an office. And it will be subject to 2-year potential increases as all our land leases are.
Alrighty. The right to adjust the rent every 2 years thereafter. Any questions on this item?
As long as they don't pull up it.
Sounds stable. They sound stable. you
Okay.
know?
We like
And you've
stable.
had some
I don't.
with potential contractors lately, and
Yes,
they sound like they have their act together and they have money to do what they wanna do, and
they do.
and yeah.
They are shovel ready and will be starting as soon as the weather will allow in the spring.
Great.
They were shovel ready before they even won the RFP. That's how excited they are.
Well, you know, they say if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, so shout out to them. Then let us prompt the vote on 10A.
We have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Great, thank you, that motion carries. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Next, 10B, under Economic Development Department recommendations is the Aviation and Transportation, creation of Aviation Department and reorganization of positions. Sean Carl's here to talk about it. It's a recommend and forward to finance under the reorg category. Moved by Commissioner Taylor, supported by Commissioner Markham. Good morning, Sean, and please.
Heather Mason, Manager of Human Resources.
Wonderful, good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Appreciate the opportunity to get in front of you. So this organization, at least when this administration came in, was originally under Central Services as a division. Dave Vanderveen oversaw Central Services. When Dave retired, the airport came under economic development. But as we've been working our way through things, Cheryl has really reported up to me and has a dotted line to economic development. But when we look at this airport and we look at, we've been treating it as a department long before we even got here. I mean, we've got $1.1 billion in economic impact that they have on Oakland County. $98 million in total assets. We've got 3 airports. Cheryl has done a fantastic job we look at this airport and we compare this airport to other airports across the state of Michigan, it is the second busiest airport in the state in regards to takeoff and landings. I mean, one would think, you know, outside of Detroit, your mind would maybe go to Grand Rapids or Bishop International up in Flint, but that's not the case. It's right here, right down the road. And Cheryl oversees all of that with her team. It just made sense. We always are looking at organizations and what makes most sense from an organizational excellence perspective. So a few weeks ago, we brought this in front of the airport committee in regards to separating this and becoming a department itself. It was unanimously approved by the airport committee. We will still have the airport committee. That's a very valuable committee to this organization and to the airport to keep folks informed. Before I go any further on that, I know Lenny, you're on the airport committee. Anything you wanna add or say?
No, we were very pleased with the discussion and we were all in agreement with making this decision to make the aviation a department.
Yeah.
Separate department on its own.
The other thing too, we talk about the second busiest airport there. In the Great Lakes region, it's the 9th busiest airport. And when we look at the 524 air traffic controlled spaces, which is like 524, it's the 105th. So it's in the top 20%. It needs to be a department, and we've got a great leader in Cheryl Bush in handling that and maintaining that. So that's really kind of our pitch. 100% supported by Dave Coulter and moving this along. So happy to answer any questions, Heather and I.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions on this? Commissioner Johnson?
Thanks, just a small one, and I was, sorry, I see the org chart for the airport department. But I was looking for a broader economic development org chart and I'm struggling to find one real quick on the spot. But moving from aviation and transportation to just a Department of Aviation, is the, and transportation Oakland Transit and?
Transit's gonna continue to stay in economic development. It needs to be closely connected. When we look at organizations from an infancy phase through, this airport, and remind you, was the first license that was given by the United States, I think signed by Wilbert Wright, is that right? Or
No, it wasn't signed.
who was it signed by?
Woodrow Wilson. It was signed by the.
By
head
one of the
that-
Wright brothers, though.
No, that was a different.
I thought the Pontiac license.
The Orville Wright signed the contest, the first air contest
There you
that came out in 1929.
Oh.
There we go. So,
But before
but
the
it was the
FAA
first license.
Yes, before the FAA was the FAA, it had another entity, the Federal Aircraft Corporation Oversight Committee.
Yeah.
And which eventually evolved into the FAA, and it was signed by their president.
My point in bringing that up is where we are in the stage with our aviation program versus where we are in the infancy stage of our transit.
Right.
And we still need to be closely connected to economic development and SMART and the other things. Maybe at some point in time, and this came up in the airport committee, maybe at some point in time, 5, 10, 15 years from now, we're talking about a transportation department when we're more developed with transit in Oakland County. That might fall under the aviation, and we could see something like that, but it's not, we're not ready for that.
Sure, just wanted to, orphans and good stuff.
Yeah.
My other comment is kind of unrelated, actually very unrelated to that, but it's that I have since joining the board been playing around with what aviation and our airports actually mean to us. And I absolutely understand that there's a strong economic development component to our airports, but there's also a very strong recreational component to the airports. And I have at many points thought to myself, it really feels like it should be like a Parks and Rec kind of thing because of so many recreational components along with the economic development ones. So having a standalone aviation department makes a lot of sense and comfort to me because then it gets to be its own thing and it's not pigeonholed into being one thing or another. So yeah, it's just a comment.
Yeah, appreciate that. And I don't see Cheryl kicking and screaming, so needless to say, it gets her stamp of approval. Mr.
Not on this.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks, yeah, I very recently learned about about the airport being the second busiest, and that's exciting and fascinating. My question, and don't read too much into this, it's more just that I wanna make sure, I don't know, I assume some due diligence was done, but I heard, I've only been here a little over a year, I've heard nothing but wonderful things about, Cheryl, and, but I just wanted to make sure that she gets a good, a raise out of this. And, is it a competitive pay? Is it bring her up to what, commensurate
Yes.
with the industry? And you looked into all that, and that's, how you came up with that number
Did a
and all
comp
that.
study and absolutely. And
I figured so, but thought I.
yeah, and that's part of, sometimes we have folks and then they move on. And then we compete these positions and we find that we may be under the market and then we take care of it. We don't wanna be in that situation here. And Cheryl has been a great leader, but she needs to be competitively paid for this position too. So we definitely looked into that and that there would be that piece coming as well.
It bears repeating, like I said, I've heard nothing but just gushing praise for Cheryl, and we don't wanna lose her, so
Yeah.
that's good.
She's blushing.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks, that's all I had.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. And be us remiss that 10B is about the creation of the department and the reorg.
Mhm.
We'll get to who.
Yes.
We'll get to the who.
Yeah.
All right, 10B, anything else on this? Seeing nothing, I will have staff prompt the vote.
You have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Okay. 6 yeas, 0 nays on that item, so motion carries. And therefore, I get to say, hear ye. Pursuant to Public Act 139 of 1973, a public hearing on the creation of an aviation department shall be held on February 19th, 2026 at 9:30 a.m. in the Oakland County Board of Commissioners Auditorium, 1200 North Telegraph Road, Pontiac, Michigan. All right. Next is item 11A, County Executive Department recommendations. And this is a motion to recommend to the board the county executive appointment of Cheryl Bush as Oakland County's aviation director. Support by Taylor, supported by Markham. I hope this comes with like a nice aviator jacket though.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Glasses.
Commissioner Markham, looks like you're interested in saying something.
I just wanna jump on the I love Cheryl Bush. She's been wonderful, and as I was reading through all of this, I'm like, I hope they're gonna make Cheryl the queen. Because it didn't say it in a lot of the stuff, but you've really, in my view, you've really earned it. What I like about the way Cheryl does things is she really is a big picture thinker. She's not just doing it this way because Dave always did it this way, and believe me, Dave's my favorite person. But I really feel like you are well positioned to take this airport further. And I'm glad you're gonna get the job. I'm glad you're getting a pay raise. Yes, I think you need the jacket. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Sean, did you want to say anything else on this?
No, I mean, you guys have said it all, but Cheryl has been a tremendous leader, strategic, when she needs to be strategic, operational, when she needs to be operational, tactical. As of last week, we had a tactical situation. And she is on the scene all the time. She is exactly the folks that Dave Coulter has been putting in the different positions along the way. And she's been here and we know her, and we just want to make sure that we're honoring her with a new position. And this is what organizational excellence is. she demonstrates it every day, and so does the airport that she leads.
Great. Commissioner Taylor?
I just wanted to add that for the ease of minds for this committee, all of the aviation committee supported this. We support Cheryl 500%, unanimously.
That's why I raised you 501. And then sounds like we're all clear on where we wanna go with this. So item 11A, we can prompt the vote.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion carries.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair,
Thank you, Sean.
committee members.
All right, next is item 12, Facilities Management Department recommendations. Item A, Facilities Management Capital Planning and Design, creation and reimbursement of positions. Got a question already, Mr. Smiley? I saw your name pop up with the question.
Oh, no.
Capital Planning and Design, creation and reimbursement of positions to support Facilities Management Department. That is a mouthful. This is a recommendation and forward to finance, if I can get a motion to do so. Commissioner Taylor moves, supported by Commissioner Wiper, very good. This is a staffing mod.
Somebody comes in here at night and sets all the
swear,
chairs
I
as
know.
low as they can go, I'm convinced.
Got the motion and the thing, yeah. Okay, so, over to you ladies, and just for the record, introduce yourselves, please.
Yes. April Lynch, Deputy County Executive. I oversee facilities, human resources, and performance management.
Misty Rates, Manager of Capital Planning and Design within Facilities Management.
Heather Mason, Manager of Human Resources over Compensation, Benefits, and Retirement.
Wow,
Normally- I
what a
know.
partnership
Oh,
here.
yeah. And normally Ed Joss would be here, but he's got what everybody else in America has right now, so he's at home when he
Oh,
needs to
good.
be. I said, I got you.
Thank
So,
you.
yes, so what we're here for today is, as you know, just before the holidays, we received your all approval of the board to go out for our CIP, our big project. So we're, looking at about $250 million worth of CIP. With that though, requires people to be able to actually do the work. So what we have before you is a little bit of a rework to accommodate the large amount of projects that are gonna be coming to facilities, as well as position facilities to continue to manage this workload. So it's important to note that it's not only about the CIP and about the bonding, it's how do we move it forward as we move forward in building the capacity as we move forward, even without the bonds. So the resolution itself, there was a lot of shifts and changes in there, and I wanted to try to simplify it for you a little bit today to just understand what our methodology is. So we do have our CFO online here, as well as multiple other finance folks here who can help if you have any particular questions. But the bottom line is, at this point, what we're requesting is 3 additional positions within the CPE team. Again, this is a team that does more of the larger capital projects. Many of you have met Jennifer Henson Pennick as well. She does more of the insides, the interiors, if that makes sense. So this is more for the larger scoped projects. And so we're asking for 3 different positions here, and again, they will all be funded by the CIP, as well as we're going to move some positions out of GFGP and Enterprise Fund into the CIP, which will be paid for by the bond. So you can see at the end of the day, the 3 positions that are going to be new are at the very top, the Schedule C, which should be out, right? Manager of Capital and Planning Design, we're gonna adjust that title to Manager of Capital Improvement Bonds. So that person will be like the air traffic controller, if you will, of the big project of making sure that all of the pieces are there to facilitate all those projects. Timelines, making sure the right bids go out, making sure that the bonding itself is audit proof, making sure that we know where the funds are at all times and leading in that charge. And then there'll be a supervisor of capital planning and design that will lead all the projects. They will make sure everything goes smoothly, oversee all the project engineers, all the things to make sure that goes well. And then we have a project manager senior, one more project manager who actually manage individual projects. And then, of course, we need support, office technical support. So the amount of AP that's gonna be facilitated, all of the reports we do for this board and this commission as well, all of those things will need that kind of support. And then we have already positions you can see in Schedule D. So again, here are these, already existing positions that we're just transferring into the CIP and will be paid for by bonds. So I need you to, we're gonna hang here for a minute while we move to the next thing, you'll see how these correlate. So then we have a few other positions, though, what we call, I call it for the good of the order, if you will. So as we start to expand how facilities works long-term, one of the things that has been a key support for Ed Joss would be to have a solid deputy that can work alongside him. So if you recall, about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, so when Mr. Vanderveen left, we moved support services under Ed's jurisdiction as well. So now it's getting a much larger department with a lot of complexities, and especially now with the CIP, to have a deputy to help support Ed and his team in what they're doing will be necessary. The other thing that is important to note is that we have a really robust asset management software, but we need somebody to be managing what goes in that. And so asset management software allows to make sure that we have inside everything that we do, when we do it, maintenance, what needs to be done next, where were we at with all of our projects, as well as like how many stop signs do we have? So it takes all of the assets that we have, puts it into a software, makes sure that we have a very solid maintenance plan. So again, having support for that, and then another project engineer, which are more for the smaller projects, right?
Right, the repair and replacement fund that we are ensuring that we can continue the ongoing maintenance of not only the new infrastructure and components that we install, we want to make sure we maintain those as they're aging before they get to a critical point where, again, we're at the place where we are now, and then we have to have a large bond program. So we'd like to continue that repair and replacement plan.
So that eases us into the next, where what will happen is if you can see the reimbursements, we have the positions that we moved over to the CIP, leaves us with about a $500,000 budget.
Favorability.
Yes, favorability, that was the word, thank you.
Yes.
That we're putting into the repair and replacement fund. So that allows us, again, as we talked about, the CIP, the bonds are right now, but we have to plan for the future. And the goal would be eventually to work through a budget process that we are putting in between about 15 million a year into managing our 2 million square feet of campus. So with that, it allows that favorability to put into that repair and replacement fund, but still creates the systems in place for facilities to actually manage those projects and be able to take that. It's important to note too, I think some of the questions have been, are these positions sunsetting? No, because the goal is that as we ease out of the bonds, that we're still doing all of this work, but we're using regular dollars through the budget process, if that makes sense. When you look as well at the figures in the budget schedule, you'll notice that it's significantly reduced this current fiscal year, and then it ramps up. That's because by the time we get them posted, we get people hired, and we start those projects, it won't be a full year. That's the difference between this current budget year and the next few that you see. I hope that was less confusing than that was.
No, that was
No offense to you. It was rules and procedures we had to follow, so.
Thank
Any questions?
Yes, thank you, April. And FLSA stands for
Fair Labor Standards Act, and that determines whether a classification receives overtime or does not receive overtime.
Got it. Yeah, do I have anyone with questions on this particular item? Just Commissioner Smiley?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm a little confused on some stuff, and it's me, not you. I'm sure you explained it very well. But the transferring positions, the 7, did you say that, so they're just being moved, there's no additional expense to them? And did you say there's money being saved that's gonna get moved over and to be used for?
Let me take a shot at it.
Thanks, yeah.
So these positions are, the wages and fringes for these positions are being reimbursed by the bond. So the bond is paying for these positions.
Right.
We are taking some of those dollars and putting them for the new positions, and we're taking some of those dollars while the bond is still outstanding and putting those in the repair and replacement fund. So the positions aren't moving. Like, for example, the fiscal person, the accountant who will be taking care of this, she'll be taking care of all the bonding stuff. She's gonna stay in fiscal services. We're gonna bill the bond for her time and they'll reimburse us, and that will go into the repair and replacement fund to try and seed the repair and replacement fund. So as we move this down the road, we've got money to continue to maintain the repair and replacement program that hasn't really been in place or had a stable process going forward.
Gotcha, okay, all right, that's for the
Yeah, so-
7.
Yeah, so we're not moving them, we're just reimbursing
The
while
money
they're
is on that,
working,
yeah.
while they're working on the bond projects, we're reimbursing those dollars from the bond back to the departments, and then 50% of that will go to the repair and replacement fund.
Okay, all right, good, that's, I don't have a problem with that, that's those 7 positions.
Yes.
And then the other 3 are just brand new positions that, come to, almost $500,000, annually. Okay, all right, thank you for that. I'm probably gonna vote no. I'm not totally against this yet. I think I want it to go for everyone to kind of talk about it more. So my no is a half yes, half no.
No, I like it.
But thank you.
Very strategic.
That's all I had.
I appreciate strategy. And good questions, just because it might help other people. Anyone else have anything for this, Mr. Wyper?
Did you say some of the positions are already being paid for by enterprise funds? And now we're pulling off enterprise funds?
No, they're not in
Paying them out of
enterprise
bond or no?
funds, they're,
The building allocation though.
they're in the internal service funds, and then they're billed as part of what we bill the departments for their FM&O for the facilities management, so, we bill everybody for electricity and the staff and things like that. There are some that are in facilities which gets allocated out through the Maximus study at the end of the year.
I thought you said enterprise fund.
I misspoke.
Misspoke, okay, all right, cause that's, okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I guess the only thing that really stood out to me was just, excuse me, calling the name of the position manager capital improvement bonds when hypothetically at some point in our future, there aren't any bonds. I think you might have said it like that. But it's a good, I hate to use the word assumption, but to believe that we will always have bonds.
For a long time.
I would hate for someone to come here and be like, yay, I'm capital improvement bond person, and then they're like, oh, we don't have any more bonds, bye-bye. So.
It'll be a while, at least 15 years.
And that
Madam Chair, Madam Chair, this is Brian Leffler. I think what I would propose if you have a different line is county improvement projects.
You can call it whatever you
Because
want.
that's what, it's that same CIP, but it does get to the same, because these, whether it's funded by a bond or even if it's funded as pay-go dollars from the repair and replacement, these are gonna be county improvement projects.
Yes, okay, thank you.
And that specific line item, that is currently taking who I am as manager of capital planning and design and retitling me specifically to manager of capital improvement, either bond or projects, to allow me to focus on that, guiding the county in that bigger effort, that strategic effort for the bond, and getting me out of that day-to-day. With that title of manager of capital planning and design, it really keeps me in that day-to-day of managing a division versus looking out for that bigger picture on behalf of the county.
Got it. And then for the deputy, facilities like deputy, just high level, what would they be doing different?
Sure, yeah, so I think intention is that while the deputy will be able to step in his absence or help with the whole strategy of the whole department, more than likely what he's gonna have, since his experience is highly in the capital planning side, is that he'll have that deputy lean into more of all the facilities itself, the day-to-day operations, the more of the maintenance and all of the support services and things of that nature, but still be a partner with him on all things
Okay.
considered, but yeah, so just helping him be able to focus more on one thing, like a little bit more specifically to the capital side. And having more help on the other side, because right now he's spread on both.
And when it comes to HR, I like to really walk gingerly, because I want to be respectful of everyone's rights. I don't think there's a policy of promoting from within, but, I look around, I've had conversations with others when people, like strangers come and they're like ahead of others who have been here. You guys make sure to look at employee files and know what skill sets people have, because I value what Missy's doing and what Ed does and all that kind of stuff. And I just want to make sure people's talents are appreciated and highlighted, and I think you do a good job of that. So just make sure we put that out there in the atmosphere. If there's nothing else, I don't see any other hands, we can then go ahead and prompt the vote on Facilities Management Department creation and reimbursement of positions.
We have 5 yeas, 1 nay.
Thank you, that motion carries, and we'll go to finance. Next up is item 12B, which is, thank you ladies, which is the purchase of property at 70 East Silverdome Industrial Park, Pontiac, Michigan. And this is a recommend and forward to finance as well as item category purchase. We've got a nice assembly of folks here. Ryan at his home recovering, Paul, Steve, Tom, did I see Tom Hardesty here?
No, Rob Seeley.
Rob Seeley and Harrison Yaldo.
Yes.
Hello. All right, folks, let's talk about this possible purchase. Oh, I need a motion. Forgive me, Mr. Leffler. Can I get a motion to recommend and forward to finance moved by Mr. Smiley, supported by Commissioner Wiper? All right, Mr. Leffler, over to you.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. If you recall, back in January 14th, we had asked to go into closed session to talk about a facility need for emergency management, homeland security, and that the approach was to look at essentially this facility and to seek whether or not this is going to work for homeland security. What you have before you and working with Harrison Yaldo from Farbman, Paul Zakos, Jody Hall, and primarily, I'm going to call it the client. I mean, Rob Seeley and his team is looking at the facility to make sure that this is something that's going to work for them on a long-term basis. And so before you is a purchase agreement to do that, which was drafted by Corporation Counsel for the facility with a price of $3.9 million. We also presented to you at least the marketing brochure related to the parcel. And then also in the resolution, just wanted to point out a couple of things is that, Homeland Security is currently in Pontiac on Pike Street, which is by the railroad. This facility is still in Pontiac. It's close to Auburn Hills, which is slightly larger. The other issue is that the purchase price is $3.9 million, which also you probably noticed we also included some of the furniture that's currently in the facility. And then that the goal here is that we would be initially going into once this is executed, into a true due diligence period where you'll be looking at environmental building assessment and things like that, and that would facilitate the review by the professionals. And in any event that any of these things don't pan out to the level of the county standards, way that Corporation Counsel has drafted the purchase agreement, the county can move forward and move out and cancel the purchase agreement. The thought here from a process is that we would pay for the purchase and some of the improvements that would have to be considered is IT and some of the securities that we talked about would be first paid from the Strategic Initiative Fund, And then we would go ahead and use some of the bonding authority that was approved through Misty's, use that to do a long-term bond for this facility. I'm gonna, as it relates to, but the most important is that it was a collaboration of, and I'm sorry, Steve Foster is there. It was a collaboration of a lot of folks to bring this together within probably 90 to 120 days. Because more importantly is that the existing lease that Pike Street is done on April 30th of 2026. So the terms of the purchase agreement would facilitate that we would close on or about April 1st, and we would take possession no later than April 15th, which would give the Homeland Security sufficient time to transfer what's in one facility to the next. And we definitely work closely with Rob Seeley and his team to make sure that there's no interruption of services to the county during this transaction. With that, I don't know if Rob Seeley has any comments that he would like to make, or if you have any other questions of us.
Thank you, and I was remiss in assumption of knowing what folks do here. So Mr. Yaldo, Mr. Seeley, Mr. Foster, just remind us of your capacities here. That way it helps us to tailor our questions.
Sure. Harrison Yaldu, commercial real estate broker with Dania Farben. Rob Seeley, the manager of the Emergency Management Division for Oakland County.
Steve Foster, architect and project manager for facilities.
Okay, very good. And I do have a question. I want to leave it towards the end just because it's maybe controversial. But does anyone have anything for the team as far as this purchase of property at 70 East Silverdome? Anyone think we're getting the Silverdome? Besides me? Okay, I think it's torn down.
Not on 280.
You don't want that.
So then my only thing was, and I talked to Brian about this, and he suggested I ask if just ask it, but I just want to ensure that this building and other buildings, particularly this, won't be inhabited by I don't know, DHS, Customer and Border Patrol, ICE. Do we have any, especially with Homeland Security and those folks, anything that we should be aware of?
Emergency management or Homeland Security is kind of a misnomer. That's why several years ago we came to the board and requested a department and division name change from Homeland Security to Emergency Management. We are not a Homeland Security agency. We are an emergency management department. We help all of Oakland County communities in responding to and recovering from disasters. We have nothing to do with anything having to do with Homeland Security in any way. We do store several $1 million worth of county assets, county vehicles inside this building. Those vehicles are command posts and things of that nature that we use in order to help communities respond to different kinds of disasters. We actually responded to Madison Heights 2 weeks ago and assisted them in their search for a autistic boy who ran away from home. So we had our incident management team with our equipment went to Madison Heights to assist them in their search for that boy. That's what we do. We don't have anything to do with the other.
Thank you, very, very good. And then Mr. Yaldo, I just have to ask, did we get a good deal here?
Yes.
Okay,
We did.
all right. Yes, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Chair. Just a quick question. I'm sorry, I pulled up Regrid. I don't have the free starter account. Who are our next door neighbors? There's two parcels. The Clinton River runs through them. They look pretty swampy. I was just wondering, is that like WRC land already?
Paul might be able to speak to that.
The property that is vacant to the east is is a district of the WRC for the Pontiac wastewater treatment plant. So they have several parcels that flow through all that system, and that's their neighbor. It's a vacant parcel that I talked to Jeff Parrott from WRC. They don't have any plans to do anything with that.
Okay.
And they would keep that property, what he's saying.
Oh, okay.
So it's nice to have that as a neighbor.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. And then I guess just on that note then, since we're kind of establishing a little like micro campus of adjacent properties, I would like to think that we'll get some nice Oakland County signage slapped on the face of that building.
Absolutely, there's currently a large lit sign on the building, and I intend to utilize that in order to put nice Oakland County advertising on the side of the building.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you, perfect.
Yeah, all right. I think we are, oh, sorry.
Just a quick comment.
Yes.
Thank you, Manager.
No
It was really to you a little bit. Just, I'm so glad you asked about that. Was this a good price? Because so often, like, I don't know real estate well enough in most cases anyway to know it's a good, whether it's a good deal, good price, that kind of thing. But I'm glad to hear that you don't have to go into any detail, just that it's a good price. It's enough for me. And thanks for asking it.
Yeah, no worries. Actually, commercial and valuation is definitely not my suit. And so the way that they evaluate a property on the commercial side, so
Oh, yeah.
I lean on your expertise and of course, Paul. So then,
We are extremely happy to remain in Pontiac. It was one of the things that I worked very closely with Harrison to try to remain in Pontiac. And we are literally, you can see our new buildings from this building. So we're in close proximity to the new Pontiac project that's going on. And it'll be a great asset to all of the county by having this where it's located.
is that a tax generator for the county of Pontiac, or for the city of Pontiac, or it's just the county doesn't pay
No.
anything? Okay, just double check.
Yeah. The income tax for the city will still occur.
Okay. You know, they do have to take her their roads and fire and safety. But great to hear all of those things, and we appreciate you bringing it to us. So this is a recommendation and forward to finance. We already have our motion and support. Looks like we're all good on questions. Let's go ahead and prompt the vote.
You have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Great, that motion carries. Takes us to item 13 on our agenda. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gentlemen, keep up the good work. Jody, good to see you. And thank you, Paul. Next up is our public comment. This is our second one, and this is on any topic, and it's 3 minutes per speaker. And if we have anyone who's interested in speaking to the committee, please make your way to the front. Good day.
How you guys doing? My name's Margaret Gupta. I'm from Oakland County.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Margaret. Give me just a second.
And I attend almost every meeting I can.
You do.
The reason why I'm attending is because back on November 11th, I dropped off a 16-page report with Mr. Mike Andrews. It outlined everything that I've been talking about. 5 Zoom hearing records have been corrupted by Judge Lisa Langton's staff, and that was back 3.5 years ago. Not one public officer, not one public servant has taken any action. In fact, I saw Mr. Lynch yesterday. He actually approached me. He wanted to say hi. He goes, "How you doing?" I said, "We need to talk." Why? Because since our last meeting in January, I reached out to Ms. Bujak as a follow-up from a December conversation I had with her regarding, hey, their court record does not reflect any of the information I'm giving. 5 Zoom hearing records are corrupted. So she got back to me last week and she said, oh, I talked to the court administrative offices. I made contact and they said there was one transcript that was corrupted, but we amended the time. One transcript, that was information that was given to her by Mr. Lynch, not 5. There is no court record. The court administrator in the administrative office is not the court. They do not make the record. They do not make the decision what goes in the record or stays out of the record. They're passing it. So these are some of the comments I got from attending here. Oakland County Board is reliant on the truth. And the reason why I say reliant, because there's reliant damages involved in court cases. Just like the public relies on Oakland County Board to protect the constituents in public interest. One of the comments is working through this through my mind. Is there a monetary figures associated with liability? Yeah. Oakland County's name is on the land that you guys were talking about with Water Resource Council. Oakland County's name's on the emails. Oakland County's name's on the phone system. Why am I highlighting phone system and email? Because this is what's being used by public offices here that Oakland County's name is on. My phone number, I cannot call the front of the Bureau court at the state of Michigan level, but I can call the Oakland County front of the court. I cannot call the Michigan Supreme Court Hall of Justice, but I can call Oakland County Court. Why? Because the state controls the phone numbers for the judiciary, which is through the state court administrative offices. Oakland County controls the phone number here. They control the emails. I said, it's in the name of the county. And it's been 3 months. I haven't gotten back from anybody. Not even the needle's been moved. You guys have fraud on the court happening. They're using the Zoom hearing records to do it. They control the court case outcome. They control the transcript. They control everything about it electronically. And not one person's investigated. I just want you guys to take the stand. You didn't know. Push it back on the people that are accountable and should be held accountable. That's the judiciary.
Thank you, Mrs. Gupta. Is there anyone else who is here to address this committee during public comment? Seeing none, I will go ahead and close the second public comment.
Just here for the fun part.
I did want to, and it's ironic because one of the commissioners is here, but I wanted to, under item 14, which is more or less an announcement, less than or other business, but just wanted to acknowledge our road commission for Oakland County workers. It looks like the 2025, and you probably got this in your inbox, but I wanted to read it into the record a little bit, that the 2025-2026 winter has been harder. I thought it was just me than recent years. And there's some data points here just in terms of the amount of plowing, the amount of salt that's had to be, or I should say liquid brine that's been necessary over the years. And I wanted to kind of just summarize by saying, you know, we along with Dennis Kolar and the whole RCOC team, we praise these drivers. I saw some on 75 yesterday as I was traversing, you know, and they're positioned in a way to keep folks safe. You know, we're very sensitive to that after the incident last summer. And the garage supervisors, other support staff who are working long days and nights to keep the roads safe. Many of the drivers, mechanics, and others did not have a single weekend off during January and worked countless extended shifts, some up to 16 hours straight battling the weather. Not only is that physically grueling, it's also time that they are not able to spend with their families. And also with the increased liquid brine and man hours, those are dollars not gonna be allocated to things we can see like road improvement. So just wanted to lift those folks up, let them know we appreciate them so very much, and we want them to stay safe and, you know, just keep up the good work.
Hear, hear.
Did anyone have anything else before adjournment? Thank you for your time, everyone. Meeting's adjourned.